and important to the United States as we look abroad at enemies or potential enemies. We must know. At the same time, that capability at any time could be turned around on the American people. And no American would have any privacy left. Such is the capability to monitor everything. Telephone conversations, telegrams, it doesn't matter. There would be no place to hide. If this government ever became a tyranny, if a dictator ever took charge in this country, the technological capacity that the intelligence community has given the government could enable it to impose total tyranny. And there would be no way to fight back, because the most careful effort to combine together in resistance to the government, no matter how privately it was done, is within the reach of the government to know. Such is the capability of this technology. Now, why is this investigation important? I'll tell you why. Because I don't want to see this country ever go across the bridge. I know the capacity that is there to make tyranny total in America. And we must see to it that this agency and all agencies that possess this technology operate within the law and under proper supervision, so that we never cross over that abyss. That's the abyss from which there is no return.
Okay, watch this. This is insane. The Salvation Army.
That Salvation guy with the Selective Service. Look, I know these guys, and I have respect for all our military. I don't care what branch you're in, the Arby's, Rabies, the Hair Porch, the machines. Look, I was out there with those guys. I was on the front lines with the Cirque du Soleil, and some of those guys didn't come back. They're still up there on the trapeze.
Hey, whoa, 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 whoa! Put on the brakes, put on the brakes. Welcome, welcome, boys and girls, children of all ages, hoofties, pufties, bunny heifers, right and left wing wackos, woodchucks, and chuckettes, kings and queens of the Northeast Kingdom, to another version of It's News to Us. And in the booth today, we have the boss, the big guy, Todd Pronto, and you can see his stuff on Facebook and toddpronto.com.
Yeah.
He's available for weddings, funerals, bar, and bat mitzvahs. And he's an old folky from way back, and he even does rock and roll. He's got a band too. And
yeah.
I can vouch for his crazy lead guitar player. Guy's good. Anyways, who are we? Where are we? Camera 2, por favor.
Oh, yeah, all right.
Thank you, Toddster. You're watching It's News to Us. We're Newport's oldest TV news. Hill Neil Brown Kill, as locals say. Newport, Vermont, that is. And climate change, well, there's a whole bunch of things going on here. Look up Milankovitch cycles, okay? And then look up the Younger Dryas period. This is the period when the last ice age melted, Toddster, when 75% of the megafauna in North America died off suddenly. And it did something. It tilted the Earth's axis or something, and that's when they've been finding woolly mammoths thawing out of the ice in Siberia with green grass still in their mouths, Todd.
Yeah.
From 11,000 years ago. It's insane, man.
Wow.
All cultures have a myth, a so-called myth, about a great flood. And it's because there was one, and it wiped out every friggin' thing. And, we'll get to that in a minute. He thinks it's kids to worry about. Oh, worried about climate change. And also, be aware, we're now on Rumble because I've already gotten supposedly 2 strikes on YouTube. They supposedly cut me off for 2 weeks because of that 2-year-old show, Todd.
Yeah.
But Terry put up last week's show and it was fine because I appealed it and I said, "Really, you're gonna jack me up for a 2-year-old show? Right. Really?"
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, so I'm not sure where I stand with them, but just in case, Philo puts us up to Rumble also. But if you're looking for us on Rumble, go to It's News to Us with my name, Steve Merrill, after it, or it just It's News to Us and scroll down, you'll find it. But so much for free speech, anyways. YouTube is now GoogleTube, and it was just about last year at this time. Remember, Toddster?
Yeah, that's right. I
forgot
about that poster too.
Our old buddy Tom Farrow, who we lovingly referred to as Elvis Stephen King. I went over to see him. He used to save books for me, and I went over to see him. I says, "How you doing, Tom?" This was a little after New Year's, and he says, "Oh man, I don't feel good." He says, "I've got chest pains." I said, "Well, there's nothing to screw around with." I said, "Go to the hospital." Well, yeah, he went to the hospital all right, like a few days later, and died. Okay, he got vaccinated and died of COVID within a week or so after I saw him. And here's our Commander-in-Chief, Joe Biden, right here. "Senile agitation? Get off my lawn!" And Todd's putting in a couple of good videos of Joe. He got the Salvation Army and the Secret Service confused this week, but hey, that's okay. The guy's just a major embarrassment, but sure. We've got President Incontinent and Vice President Incompetent. Anyways, 120 years ago, you could buy cocaine at your store, any drugstore, local store. No problem. And here's one of the products right here. I even have old bottles at home. Cocaine and Cocaine Mariani wine. Burnett's Cocaine, Boston, Mass. And here's President Reagan. Well, he wasn't president then. But here's Ronnie Reagan selling Chesterfields. They make a great holiday gift, Todd. I couldn't find the one that says more doctors prefer Chesterfields. And side effects? Oh, sure. Just no. It's safe and effective. Okay, look, people, wake the hell up. All right, it's safe and effective. All right. Would Fauci lie to you? I mean, would the government lie to their own people? Come on, man. What are you, conspiracy nut? You a drug addict, man? Like Biden said to that poor black kid reporter during the campaign. What are you on, drugs? Huh? Anyways, we're going to roll fast and furious now, okay? I'm going to try and hold my teeth inside my mouth and keep them from flying out. We got a jam-packed bunch of news this week, mister. Oh, and I got my Aoxamoxoa T-shirt on. One of the kids at the grocery store last week says, you got the coolest Grateful Dead shirts of just about anybody. And I said, you mean any old people, right? And he just smiled. He didn't want to acknowledge the fact that I'm old. But hey, see that? It takes a long time to get that. And if you're lucky, you might get a few gray hairs too. Anyways, things are moving fast. Now, you noticed last week, Todd, I don't know if you watched the football games, what I do out of sheer boredom and the crap that's on TV now.
Yeah, I actually am a big football fan, which is strange because it's like the only sport that I like. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm a big football fan, so I watched them all. But we did have a family gathering, so I didn't sit there and intently watch all the games.
The games last Sunday were off the hook, man. It was crazy good.
Yeah.
Interceptions, running the ball the whole length of the field. I mean, it was crazy good. It's because it's the best teams out of the leagues, right?
Right. Well, yeah, and especially this weekend, you're going to get that.
Yeah. And it's funny, too, all the guys are wearing number 3 T-shirts and praying for DeMar. We're praying
Right.
for DeMar. Well, it's like, wait a minute. How can everybody be praying for DeMar? And what was it? A year ago, they fired a high school coach for praying on the field. Member?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The power of prayer.
Maybe they're playing for DeMar.
Yeah. How soon we forget. It's what hypocrites we are. Anyways, oh man, we got the news that's not the news. Okay. Now get this. I don't know if I covered this last week. Burisma signed a deal. This just came out last week, and you can find it from Mike Benz, like Mercedes-Benz. You can find him on the interweb. He's a real reporter, and it looks like Burisma. Remember that company that was shoveling $60,000 a month at Hunter? Oh, and they found all these documents that just coincidentally happened to cover the Ukraine. And now, mind you, these are. These aren't like Trump. Well, see, the difference between Trump is a president. The president can classify or declassify anything he wants and take with him anything he wants, basically. Where Biden was vice president, and he couldn't take squat, let alone he had this stuff, and it covered 3 countries, they're saying, England, Iran, and the Ukraine, of course. So anyways, Burisma, that was shoveling $60,000 a month at Hunter, they signed a co-op agreement with the Atlantic Council to secure a deal flow. Burisma sponsored Atlantic Council meetings in Monaco and etc. to facilitate Burisma deals, along with the Department of Home Fasteland Security, otherwise known as Homeland Security, and the Atlantic Council to censor 22 million tweets about the election in 2020, Toddster. According to a 292-page report, the DHS deputized a Burisma lobbyist to censor 22 million tweets, and repeats and conservatives. They had over 100 million supposedly that were, censored or something. And get this, the Atlantic Council has 18 former heads of the CIA either working for them or on their board of directors, Todd, okay? And there are 35 supposedly, 35 former CIA employees at Facebook. And you got Mark Zuckerberg, who's not human, just look at him. And you got Mark Zuckerberg saying, well, to talk to Joe Rogan, well, I went like this, the FBI came to us and said, there might be some Russian disinformation. Yeah, right. Come on, man. You got 35 friggin' former CIA employees, and you're going to shovel this crap at Rogan, and Rogan didn't push back? I wished he would have.
Yeah, Rogan was pretty tame for that.
Yeah.
He doesn't always push back a whole lot, but
yeah,
he usually asks a lot better questions than he did that time.
And Herr Dr. Fauci admits in that deposition, the free speech deposition, that's a trial lawsuit that's where the AGs from Missouri and Louisiana are going after the censorship in federal court, and they deposed Fauci. He admitted in a deposition that he modeled the U.S. lockdowns and mask mandates on China's CCP. Yeah. And, oh man. And get this, they keep saying, well, regarding the election of 2020, and I should keep my mouth shut because this is what got me yanked off Facebook for 2 years ago, but they keep saying that they tried to steal the election, Trump people tried to steal the election by using the Electoral College, which they could have. If you read the Constitution or the way the thing goes, the vice president could have sent it back. All they were asking for, you had over 100 congressmen, all they were asking for was 10 days. Just hold off the count for 10 days while we look into these irregularities, okay, in multiple states. Or the vice president could have sent it back and got a new slate of electors from different states, right? And so they're saying, well, they tried to steal it. Well, wait a minute, the rules said that this and that, And then suddenly, they passed along with that omnibus terribilis, horribilis, middle of the night spending bill they shoved through in the middle of the night a month ago. Buried in that was the thing called the Electoral Count Act, which changed the rules so that the vice president wouldn't be able to stop or get new electors. Now, if they tried to steal if the Trump Pence people had tried to actually steal the election and it wasn't kosher, then why did they pass the Electoral Count Act to stop it from being legal in the next election cycles? Funny that. We're not supposed to ask those questions, I guess. And, I don't know if I told you this, Todd. One time I was on a jury. I had a jury duty for a drug trial in Carbon County, Pennsylvania, where a drug dealer, a coke dealer, supposedly beat up a snitch who not only was snitching on him and stealing from him, but was also stealing his girlfriend, too. So anyways, everybody wanted to convict the guy and send him down the road, and yours truly was the jury foreman. They made me foreman because I could walk and chew gum at the same time. And I said no, and I held him up. And I said, no, that's it. Hey, man, are you kidding me? And back then, I looked it up because I had access to the interweb from 1994, 95, when I had to go to CompuServe, and it was before they had an 800 number. So it was not only did you have to pay, but you had to pay to use long distance to get to the server. So if you stayed on the net for a long time, you got a wicked long distance bill back then, right? So anyways, during the trial, I looked it up, and back then, the feds were paying $96 million a year for informants. Okay, nothing to see there, right? Just informants. We only pay $96 million. Well, it turns out supposedly last year, the feds paid $548 million for informants. That's almost $500 million for informants. And they're saying, the Democrats are screaming bloody murder, saying, you can't investigate these alphabet agencies. It's like, this is Orwellian, man. As you can see from the church committee hearings that Todd is gracefully putting in the beginning and end of the show this week, as you could see back then, it was the Democrats who wanted to get to the bottom of the FBI and the CIA running hog wild after Watergate, and the Republicans kind of kept quiet. They didn't come out and vociferously say, you can't investigate them. That's crazy. Anyways, $458 million to informants last year. And then I'm watching Channel 3 News the other night, Toddster, right? And my old buddy Darren Perrin got up, and he said with a straight face that the reason Vermont power companies wanted to raise their electric rates, Todd, was due to natural gas prices and the Ukraine.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, well, wait a minute. So I sent him an email at news@wcax.com. I said, wait a minute. I said, were we generating power in Vermont with Ukrainian natural gas before? Really? I thought we get all our power from Hydro-Quebec. What's with you people? Maybe we did have some gas generation for when the loads were peak, but I don't think we were shipping gas from the Ukraine, were we? And it's like they shovel this stuff at the viewer, and it's like, okay, it's all Putin's fault. Okay, no problem.
I remember before Putin invaded the Ukraine, I called to get a tank of heating fuel.
Yeah.
And the price had shot up like $1 a gallon or something stupid. And I said, why is that? And they said, well, because of the war that might be happening in the Ukraine. I said, it hasn't even happened yet. Like, why do I have to pay for this now?
Because everybody voted. They didn't like Trump's mean tweets. And nobody did their homework. And Biden was on record saying, we're going to end fossil fuels on day one. So what did he do? Day one, he came in. Look at his executive orders from his first week in office. Canceled the Keystone Pipeline, shut down this, shut down that. Refineries are offline. It's crazy. Hey, you get who you vote for. We didn't like Trump and his nasty tweets, mister. And then we, oh man. And then speaking of the vaccines, during 1975, when Church Commission was going, they had the swine flu, and they hurried a vaccine out to market, the swine flu vaccine. Well, people started having complications, and after only 32 deaths in like 76 or 77, they shut down the swine flu vaccine. All right? Funny that. And, and get this. You know the guy who hit Paulie Pelosi with the hammer?
Yeah. Supposedly
the Canadian illegal alien nudist from San Francisco? Well, never mind the police reports don't jive, and when they showed up, Pelosi came to the door. The other guy was in his underwear or something, and Pelosi lets him into the house. Then Pelosi goes to talk to the Canadian illegal alien nudist, and then the Canadian whacked him in the head with a hammer right in front of the cops. Anyways, this guy's name is DePape, and if you look up under the Daily Mail, the British news tabloid newspaper, Toddster, they had an interview with DePape's son, where he said that, who knows, he says, if maybe my dad was a sex slave to the rich people in San Francisco. Look it up on the Daily Mail. I'm not saying it's true, but hey, look it up for yourself. And, right here in Vermont, too. Global Foundries is going to lay off 148 people, Toddster. And get this. This was after they took in $30 million from, the whatever it was, from the government or whatever, to keep the plant open and make microchips. Oh, we got a chip shortage. So is now they're going to...
Is that IBM? Or
yeah, IBM. Exactly. Speaking of which, I dug this out of the archives. This is what IBM, or Global Foundries, discharges. Thanks, Todd. They discharge this into the Winooski River every freaking day, okay? 265 pounds of nickel, 36 pounds of lead, 2 pounds of cadmium, and 154 pounds of chromium? Yeah, okay. And here, now you wonder how the Nazis rounded up the Jews to keep the trains running on time and everything? Well, they were using IBM's punch card system, Toddster. And they liked the IBM computers so much that here we see the Führer, Adolf Hitler, giving IBM's Watson, the chairman, the Volks Medal on July 12th in 1937. And we won't even get into the rest of the American companies that did business with them. Standard Oil, and DuPont gave them or sold them the patent to make synthetic rubber. And that's the reason during World War II that we had gas rationing. It wasn't because we were running out of gas. We had plenty of that. It was because we didn't have the rubber, okay? And we didn't have the factories to make synthetic rubber. But somehow the Germans did, because DuPont and other companies had sold them stuff. Okay, then. We won't mention that. And the FBI paid Twitter $3.5 million from 2019 to 21. They had up to 80 agents supervising Twitter. Okay. And Twitter also helped the Pentagon before the Afghan pullout debacle. No problem there. Yeah, it's all completely normal. What else have we got? Okay. Oh, man. Now they've got a shadow campaign of people, now that the Congress has gone to Republican hands. And I was watching that last Friday night when the dam finally broke. And you know what, Todd? They hadn't had anybody. For the past 2 years, Nazi Pelosi has shut down the Congress in person, so everybody was just phoning it in, from their bathrooms and their dens and whatever. Even committees, there was nobody there. You had people giving speeches to an empty Congress. There was nobody there. I mean, the only time they got together was like when Zelensky came begging for money, and they were all getting down there out their knee pads to give him another $45 billion. But anyways, I'm watching this thing, And oh my God, there is Sheila Jackson Lee, a Democrat from Texas, talking with Matt Gaetz. And there's another Republican geezer talking with AOC. It's like, you know how hard it is to demonize somebody when you have to go to work with them in the same room every day, Todd?
I have to look them in the eye.
Yeah. So now, and Leahy kept saying that, well, I really miss the good old days when we used to get together. And so, well, no kidding, because nobody got together because the Democrats sent them all home and let them work from home. So it's crazy. So that was one of the first things they eliminated. Said, look, you want to vote on something, you got to be here in person, all right? And there's no more committees unless you're knocking on death's door. You got to be here in person, mister. It's insane, man. It's insane. So anyways, now that they've got a new Congress, Biden's put together a shadow campaign of war rooms and teams to protect him from the evil Republicans. Even though the press has got his back, they're out on an apology tour now. Oh, well, these Biden papers, it ain't like Trump. Well, Trump's evil, you know? That's the difference. That's crazy. And, oh, man. Oh, and Jimmy Fallon. Did you know they gave him a 5-year contract or something, Todd, recently?
No.
He had a 5-year contract, and
For his show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for $80 million or something.
Woo.
And when Jay Leno was hosting the Tonight Show, Jay Leno would routinely get between 10 and 11 million viewers every night, right?
Yep.
And Gutfeld, a little cable upstart on Fox from 11 to 12, he's getting like 1.5 million people on cable, and Jimmy Fallon's only getting 2/3 of that. Jimmy Fallon can't even produce 1 million viewers every night. And he's the least worst of all of them, you know?
Yeah. Well, how many online viewers does he get though? Because I think he appeals to a younger crowd. I would hope he appeals to a younger crowd because his humor is pretty sophomoric and blah.
Yeah, goofy.
Yeah. So I bet he gets more viewers online, but still, it is a cable news show. Or not news. It is a cable television program.
Oh, which brings me to the next topic, okay? Well, anyways, it looks like NBC is ruining the day that they gave him $80 million.
I don't know how they hired him in the first place.
Yeah, God only knows. They must have been hard up. This is Judicial Watch's verdict. Now, I'm going to read this fast. You wouldn't believe it. Okay, thanks, Todd. Sir, check this out. This is the most important one here. It's these guys, they're the only people that I actually give money to, and it's not much. I only give them a few bucks a year, but it gets me this newsletter. Judicial Watch uncovers Biden began to push the COVID vaccines. Check it out. This is uncovered here. Now, they had to sue under the Freedom of Information Act to get these records. I'm going to roll through this fast, but you will not believe this stuff. You remember Colbert dancing with the hypodermic syringes to the music of Tequila, the song, and saying, vaccines, remember?
I actually don't remember that.
Oh, you got to see it. It's on YouTube. It's crazy.
Okay.
Dun, 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 all these people, vaccines, dressed up as syringes with needles coming out of their heads. It's crazy. Judicial Watch received 249 pages of records from HHS detailing extensive media plans for the propaganda to push the vaccine. They asked for all records, blah, 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 newly released records. Okay. Major public education projects in April. This would have been in April 19th, 2021. Yeah, right after he got elected. This was from April 19th to May 31st in 2021. Major projects in April. Vaccine engagement package to all entertainment talent and management agencies. Vaccine engagement package to all media and show producers. Outreach to major cultural event producers. Outreach to WCDT called We Can Do This. Isn't that clever? WCDT. We can do this. like the old Rosie the Riveter, remember? Brand and engagement ideas to major business associations. Launch Community Core Business Chapter. Start Celebrity Share the Mics program. Okay. President, May, during the month of May. Late night host vaccination video. That would have been with Colbert. And Geezer Joe made the rounds of all his rump swabs and throne sniffers on late night. Additional ideas to be considered, digital media. Produce HHS Q&A answers featuring local black doctors discussing the vaccines, how they work, and why the public should get vaccinated. 2, request that Tom Brady create a video with his parents encouraging vaccination. In parentheses, his parents had COVID last year, and he has talked about their tough recovery. Well, if they had it, they didn't need to get vaccinated because they had natural immunity, which some people think and say is better than any other immunity. Okay, create custom partner. That's not me. I'm not a doctor. It's just what some people are saying. Create custom partnerships with social media platforms and with algorithms to hit the audience. To hit the audience? We gotta hit them on the head because they're stupid. They're stupid. They're stupid. Launch Hollywood comedy writers video content. What comedy writers? Work with GoogleTube on an original special about vaccines targeted to young people, similar to YouTube's Dear Call of 2020 special. Work with Instagram to produce a series of vaccines for Instagram. Feature young creators doing in-depth pieces of young people's decisions. Request major TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram influencers to create videos of themselves being vaccinated and start a special campaign of funny and or musical videos about being vaccinated to encourage others to create content and post. Okay. Can we say propaganda again, boys and girls? Earned media. Request a vax special on CBN for evangelicals. 2, request the major live TV entertainment shows feature hosts being vaccinated on air. Example, the host of The Voice on air. How many of these people would just get like a fake needle? I got one in the prop closet. I should have drug it out. Damn it. I got to get that needle from Ray. Remember that big syringe he had? It was about this big?
Yeah.
I got to ask him for that. Let's see. Request that TV morning and daytime talk shows feature special vax reunion moments with everyday Americans talking about what this means to them. Example, hugging grandma for the first time. Like I said, I got a buddy of mine who had 2 grandmas, and one grandma was like, come here and give your granny a hug. I don't care about this stupid virus. And the other granny was like locked in her house and wouldn't come out. It's unreal.
Depends how much TV you watch.
Pardon me?
Depends how much TV you watch.
Yeah, evidently. Well, some grannies just don't give a sweet patoot because they'd seen this before and could see that it was propaganda. I mean, look at it. When I was in the press corps, the Vermont weekly conferences, you know, I was asking embarrassing questions like, how come the confirmed fatality rate is about the same as the regular flu season? Well, you know, next question. Let's see. Convene an editorial meeting with the publishers of Catholic newspapers and newsletters. Example, America Magazine, Florida Catholic, The Catholic Spirit, The Tablet. Another one, Dr. Biden interview with Chip and Joanna Gaines for Magnolia. Request vaccination specials with BET, The Undefeated, Desus, and Merrill. Sneaker Shopper, Hot Ones. You ever heard any of those?
No.
I thought Desus and Merrill was an infomercial on satellite. I keep seeing it up there, but I've never watched it. Request a vax special with Christian Broadcasting, Netflix, and evangelical leaders. And it's one of my favorites. place a trusted messenger on the Joe Rogan Show and Barstool Sports to promote vaccination.
How did that work out?
That must have worked out good. Tell us how that worked out, would you? Partnerships. Work with NFL, NASCAR, MLB, CMA to request they create content and their talent and release their broadcast through social channels. Anyways, you get the message, okay? These records show a disturbing and massive campaign by Biden to propagandize, politicize a controversial vaccine, said Judicial Watch Pres Tom Fitton. It seems as if the entire entertainment industry was an agent for the government. Anyways, he kept digging. They uncovered a substantial amount of information about the COVID issue. NIH records revealed that an 8 FBI inquiry into the bat coronavirus grant tied to Wuhan. The records show the NIAID, Fauci's gig, officials were concerned about the gain-of-function research in China's Wuhan Institute in 2016. That was another thing I kept asking them, because I kept digging up this stuff from way back, like that's the reason why Obama canned. Yeah, here's 9/11. That was the air traffic before 9/11. And you'll see what happens after 9/11. This is what happened yesterday, okay? This happened yesterday. The FAA, their whole system went down.
They were using those punch cards.
Pardon me?
They were using those punch cards that Watson sold the Nazis too. They haven't upgraded their computer systems yet.
Yeah, steam powered. Well, they're supposed to have redundancy. Come on, Tom. Todd, I don't think it's quite that antiquated. Like a steam powered computer, right? It's like a calliope. Yeah, come on. And so Pete Buttigieg comes out today and says, well, we're looking into it because, they're supposed to have redundancy stuff. Well, where was Pete Buttigieg? He was off in Portugal on his private jet or something, out chest feeding with his husband or whatever they are. He's on maternity leave. I don't know which one's the pitcher, which one's the catcher. I don't know. I don't care. But it's like this guy spent more time out of the office than Biden has. Biden's been out of office for 40% of his time in the White House. Anyways, yeah, it gets better. In 2016, the agency was concerned about EcoHealth lack of compliance and reporting rules regarding gain of function. HHS records revealed that 2014 to 2019, I think it was 2014 that Obama banned it here. And it's like, that was another thing. Oh, yeah. So we had labs in China. We had labs in the Ukraine. And at first they said, we don't have any labs in the Ukraine. You're out of your mind. No way. Putin's lying. And then it's like, well, we might have had 10. What? Oh, we might have had 10 labs. Really? Then it's like, oh, well, we might have had 20 labs. What? Well, we might have had 30. There might have been 30 labs in the Ukraine working on select agents. Okay, sure. So you wonder why Putin was angry? I mean, I don't excuse him. He's a thug. But really, people, could you imagine if China went to Mexico and said, we're going to set up some bioweapons labs in Mexico. You guys wouldn't mind in the United States, would you? Oh, sure. We could go along with that, couldn't we, Todd? No problem.
I mean, it depends how much money we're going to get from it.
The Mexicans are getting the money just like they're doing with the cartels now.
Oh, well, then no.
Yeah. These cartels are making money. They're getting between $4 and $20 grand a head for every person they smuggle across the border. Pounds and thousands of pounds of fentanyl and meth. Yeah, come on, man. And no wonder the AMLO, whatever his name was, is patting Biden on the rump yesterday, day before, saying, oh, yeah, we'd like to thank Presidente Biden because he hasn't even made the 1 meter of border wall. Well, that's going to change soon, Bunky, okay? This is all going to come to a screeching halt. HHS records reveal that from 14 to 19, 826 grand was given for bat virus research. NAID records show that 9 China-related grants to EcoHealth. And research in the virus emergence in bats was one of the NIH top issuer of grants to the Wuhan lab itself. The records also include email from the vice director of the Wuhan acting NIH official for help finding disinfectants for decontamination of airtight suits and indoor surfaces. Oh, yeah. By the way, could you guys get us some Lysol? We can't find any good disinfectants for our level 3 biosafety lab, which we're playing with deadly pathogens over here in China. Could you get us some disinfectant, Toddster? Please. We need it. And this is my favorite right here. HHS records include an urgent for Fauci email chain citing ties between Wuhu Lab and EcoHealth. The government emails also reported that the foundation of U.S. billionaire Bill Gates worked closely with the Chinese government to pave the way for China-made medications to be sold outside of China and help raise China's voice of governance by placing representatives from China on important international councils as high-level commitment from China. Okay, so we got Bill Gates with his sticky fingers on the scales here, boys and girls. Nothing to see here. Move along. Okay, HHS records include grant application for research for gain of function involving RNA extraction from bats, experiments on the viruses, attempts to develop a chimeric virus, efforts to genetically manipulate full-length bat strain molecular clones. Okay, what could possibly go wrong, right? We're safe. Yeah, our lab's great. HHS records show the State Department and NAID knew immediately in January 2020 that China was withholding COVID data, which was hindering risk assessment and response by public health officials. Okay. University of Texas medical branch show the director of the Galveston National Lab at UTexas, Dr. James LeDuc, warned Chinese researchers at Wuhan of the investigations by COVID issued by Congress. Imagine that. Hey, they're going to come looking for you. You guys better clean it up and burn all them records. HHS records regarding biodistribution studies and related data for the vaccine show a key component of the vaccines, the lipid nanoparticles, were found outside the injection site in liver, adrenal glands, spleen, and ovaries of test animals 8 to 48 hours after injection. Okay, records from the Federal Select Agent Program, FSAP, select agents. That sounds a lot better than dangerous bioweapons, right, Todd?
Yeah.
They're just select agents. Come on, man. Really? Don't get all huffy with us. Violations that conduct research on dangerous agents. HHS records show that emails between Collins and Fauci about hydroxychloroquine and COVID-19, which appear to have been stifled. HHS records show that NHI officials conducted confidentiality forms, tailored them for China's terms, and that the WHO conducted an unreleased, strictly confidential COVID epidemiological analysis in January 2020, and last but not least, Fauci's emails include his approval of a press release supporting China's response to the 2019 novel virus. Okay, nothing to see here. And here we are. This is from the Epoch Times. CDC finds 100 a safety signal for COVID vaccines. Now, I'm not making this up. You can go to epochtimes.com, camera 2 Toddster. Thank you. Yeah. EPOCH, epochtimes.com. Thanks. This is crazy good. Yeah, sure. The onus is on the regulators to come up with some other causal explanation for this difference. If they wish to claim that the probability of a vaccine adverse event results in death is not significantly higher than other vaccines. Look, it's safe and effective, okay? Don't you get it? Don't you get it? And now they're trying to flip the script, too, regarding hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin. Oh, that's horse stuff. You don't want to take horse stuff. What are you, crazy? Are you going to listen to that Joe Rogan wacko? Yeah, it's out of your mind. Let's check the local papers. This is from today's paper. All right. GOP. Republicans want probe of classified Biden documents. And classified is in, what do you call it? Not italics, but quotation marks. Yeah, okay. This isn't slanted, right? The top Republican on the House Intel Committee has reviewed the UN intelligence conduct a damage assessment of potentially classified documents. They're marked, compartmentalized. This SCI, secure compartmentalized information. Okay, this is higher than top secret. This is compartmentalized so that only the people that need to see it are supposed to see it. But that's okay because it's Joe Blowhard. Come on. The president. Let's see. Potential violation of laws protecting national security, including the Espionage and Presidential Records Act. Yeah, Biden ignored questions during a lap with the Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, the fascist in Mexico. And get this. This kills me, man. You talk about House passes bill to slash IRS funding. And there's a picture here, and it says, Jeff Duncan and other lawmakers routinely say the extra IRS funding will be used to hire 87,000 new agents to target Americans. But that's misleading. Wait a minute. I thought this was supposed to be straight reporting. I didn't know that every page was an editorial page in favor, camera 2, in favor of the regime. I mean, this is like reading a paper in North Korea, Todd. It's crazy. Anyways, listen to this. Trump weighed in on Monday, asking when is the FBI going to raid the many homes of Joe Biden, maybe even the White House. This revelation may also complicate the Justice Department's consideration of wanting to bring charges against Trump, who's trying to win back the White House and repeatedly claimed the department's inquiry of its own conduct amounted to corruption. Well, it does. When you use the full power of the state to target your political enemies, yeah, that's corruption. It's pretty much it. Yeah. Is the White House going to be raided tonight? This is James Comer, a Republican. Are they going to raid the Bidens? This is further concerned that there's a two-tier justice system within the DOJ and how they treat conservatives versus liberals. Certainly they treat the former president versus the current president. Okay. They knew about this a week before the election. Maybe the American people should have known about it, said Jim Jordan. They certainly knew about the raid at Mar-a-Lago 91 days before the election. But nice if on November 2nd the country would have known that there were classified documents at the Biden Center. Now, what is this Biden Center? He supposedly made a professor at Penn University, PU, or UPenn, whatever it is. And suddenly, he doesn't teach a single class. He can't even stand up during a class. And bang, he's getting they're getting $30-40 million from the communist Chinese, Todd, in donations.
That's not bad.
That's all completely normal. Come on.
Yeah.
It's like the Clinton initiative, only they don't help anybody except the Biden family syndicate. Oh, sure. It wasn't immediately clear why the White House didn't disclose the discovery sooner. CBS was the first to report it Monday. Oh, sure. Okay. Yep. Yay.
You got 5 or 6 minutes left just to...
Yeah, I figured. I looked at it. We're getting close. Oh, yeah. In the ensuing years, the IRS was mostly on the losing end of congressional funding fights. Oh, yeah. Even though we got a report saying that the IRS targets small people and family businesses like 90%, 95% more than they target rich people who can pay for accountants and lawyers. Never mind. We still want more agents. I mean, think about it. You got 79,000 employees now. If you add another 87,000, that's 166,000 IRS employees. That's more than the Marine Corps has. And here we are. I've been watching the obituaries, and we're seeing a lot of young, healthy people dying. Yeah, here we are. World Bank, recession, a looming threat. Oh, you think? You think? And the Germans, the Krauts are digging up coal. And they had to remove climate activists from the whole town. They've condemned the whole town, and they're gonna dig a whole town up for coal. Now here's another one. Here's Bolsonaro in Florida as followers revolt. Well, because they had elected the honest people, Bolsonaro, and they got rid of the socialists. This Lula guy, get this. Here's one for you people to look up, okay? Look up Operation Car Wash. Both Lula and Dilma Rousseff were busted, convicted, and impeached. There were 19 trials in 3 different courts. They're both felons. You know the Supreme Court in Brazil has their own police force, Todd? Oh, sure. And the people have been demanding a recount under Article 142. The military, I guess, is supposed to do a recount, and they won't do it. They won't comply. They won't allow an audit. They won't allow anybody to look at the machines that counted these supposed votes. The CIA's William Burns was sent there last year. It's insane. Here it is, below the fold. Brazil vows to protect democracy following riots. This is wrong. It's like everything you know is wrong, okay? Up is down, black is white. Now, here it is right here. Look it up. Do your own digging. Don't trust me. They've demanded the machines, the code, and the tabulations in Brazil, according to their military in the Constitution, but they won't give it up. And guess who's been in Brazil? They've been demonstrating for 70 days since the election, Toddster. And guess who's been? Not only our CIA director was down there. Guess who else has been over there? A guy named Zhang Xishan, the enforcer from the Communist Chinese Party. Yeah, people want to worry about the rainforest? You wait till China gets a hold of these large tracts of land. They want the Brazil for their soybeans and minerals and every other damn thing. They want Lula's come out and said they want a Marxist one-currency super state. And the natives, you talk about your indigenous people and how badly the Indians are treated. Well, their leader, Chief Serrari, is still in jail. He's still in jail because he demonstrated the elections in Brazil. It's crazy. And here it is, too. States are targeting transgender health care. Legislation focuses on multiple facets of livelihood. No, nobody cares if you're trans. Nobody cares about the surgeries. What they care about is mutilating kids. Where is it? Front page. Yeah, right here. Yeah. Oh, sure. Bills targeting other facets of trans livelihood have been filed in many of the same states and expected in other ones. Let's see. Gender-affirming health care providers and parents of trans youth are the primary targets. Many would seek to criminalize helping a trans child obtain what doctors and psychologists widely consider medically necessary care. Look, surgical mutilation is not medically necessary care, okay? And they're still classifying gender dysphoria as a mental illness, all right? Now, do we affirm any other mental illness? If people are paranoid, do we say, yeah, maybe they are watching you? I saw somebody walk in behind you when you came in for your visit today, right? We do that. Do we affirm alcoholics by saying, here, come on in, sit down on the couch over there for your weekly visit. Here's a bottle of scotch, all right? Or do we affirm anorexics by giving them liposuction, even they look like Auschwitz victims? No, but supposedly we're supposed to be let them mutilate kids. No, no, and no. And this is insane, man. Let's see. Let's see. In Tennessee, the legislature first priority to ban medical providers from altering a child's hormones or performing surgeries that enable them to present as gender different from their sex. Well, when you've got trans kids going up 6,000% in 2 years, we're wondering if this is a fad. With every kid's got a phone, they're watching TikTok videos of some guy pretending to be a woman. What the hell? Let's see. Or performing surgeries enabled to present. Right. The World Professional Association for Transgender Health. How old is that age? We've never heard of them before. And the Swedes have stopped this stuff. The Brits have stopped this stuff. They put the brakes on it. Said no surgeries, no nothing until you're 18 or 21. No. The World Professional Association for Transgender Health said last year that teens experiencing gender dysphoria can start taking hormones at 14 and have certain surgeries at ages 15 or 17. Are you kidding me? The only thing you should have at that age is wisdom teeth extracted if they need to come out. You're kidding me. You're gonna do a what? Let's see. The group acknowledged potential risks, but said it was unethical to withhold early treatments, which can improve psychological well-being and reduce suicide risk. Look at the Swedish studies on this, because they were doing this stuff years ago, and they found out that it's just the opposite of what these people are saying. Okay.
I think you got like a minute and a half left.
Yeah. Let's see. In South Carolina, requires that trans adults older than 21 obtain referrals from their doctor and a psychiatrist, not a psychologist, a psychiatrist. Anyways, Reed, a transgender woman who's monitoring a growing list of other proposals, including drag performance bans. Oh, well, we want guys humping and bumping and taking dollar bills in front of little kids. Yeah, sure, that's completely normal. Bathroom usage restrictions, limits on LGBTQ discussion in schools, in elementary schools. Why are you people talking about sex with kids? What's wrong with you people? Unbelievable. Oh, here we are. Oh, man. Here's the Lizard King, Leahy. Oh, they're publishing my letter to the editor in today's 7 days, Toddster.
Yeah?
About the bald blowhard going home. There he is right there. The Lizard King. Oh, sure. I'm the Lizard King, king of the swamp. It's the same picture they used last week. And here we are. Crazy infectious COVID variant spreading across the U.S., Todd. Be afraid. Be very afraid. By Karen Weintraub. All the things I protected you for the past couple of years, I don't think are going to protect you against this new crop of variants. Said Cannon. Who's Cannon? A virologist at USC. The number of severe infections and deaths remain low, relatively low, despite the higher level of infections, he said, thanks to vaccinations and probably previous infections, natural immunity. Anyways, hopefully we've gone through a lot of this stuff. We really ripped through the news this week. And, here's some deaths right here. Look at this. 23 years old. Jabril Williams, 23 years old, died suddenly in Burlington. Yeah, that's completely normal, right? Right? Sure it is. We got another one here. There's another one. Deering, Matthew H., 40 years old. Yeah, people are dying suddenly all over the place, young ones. What do you call it? The damn life insurance companies are paying out billions of dollars in claims that they never have seen before. They're calling it a once in a it's not even a lifetime, but they're calling it a black swan event. It could bankrupt a lot of life insurance companies.
Good. I mean, that's too bad.
Insurance
companies are great.
Poor insurance companies.
I feel so bad for them.
Well, you should get dead peasant policies like Walmart does and all these other big stores and stuff. These companies, Might look it up with Michael Moore. He was the one that brought them out. They're dead peasant. That's what they call them, dead peasant policies, where the company takes out a policy on all their employees, and if they die, the company makes all the money. Not a nickel goes to the family, but that's okay. Well, once again, you wasted a perfectly good hour of your life watching this stupid show. So hopefully we'll see you again next week. Inshallah, good Lord willing, the creek don't rise. Until then, get down on your hands and knees in the men-only mosque, stiff the bum of the guy in the man dress in front of you, head east, worship the rock, a meteorite in Mecca, and go, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Akbar!
We'll get high. We touched it. We'll touch the sky. That's why the G is there. I'll tell you why. It's all too beautiful. It's all too beautiful. It's all too beautiful. It's all too beautiful. I feel inclined to blow my mind. Get hung up, feed the ducks with a bun. They all come out to groove about, be nice and have fun in the sun. It's all too beautiful. It's all too beautiful. It's all too beautiful. Ha! It's all too beautiful.